So welcome to the end of 2040. My name is Paul, also known as the Northman, and thank you for joining me on this journey with AB and the Faroe Islands as we look to build the nation. Now, I want to say that in this episode, I will look back and probably admit that I made a huge mistake letting Diarra leave. With his 16 assists in 16 games for us this season, we do look like we are missing him. Now, to get going then on this so far, the transfers over the last couple of weeks since the last episode, Marasek has left us. He's gone to Cardiff City. Really disappointing. 29 years old. We paid $1 million for him. He was with us for 5 years, then sold him for $5 million. He's in his prime, and I don't want to regret the sale. I don't want to regret it, but I just panic. And the young Moroccan goalkeeper who played one game for us, we've ended up selling for $1 million plus 50% next sales. We paid $625k for him. I've ended up picking up a few young goalkeepers over the last 12 months, so we didn't really need him, and Copenhagen came in with a bid, so we've ended up letting him go for $1 million plus 50% the next sale. One signing that we have made after selling, obviously, the young, Diarra on the right wing, we've signed this young Norwegian, 17 years old when we agreed the deal, just turned 18 now. He came in as a left winger. We are retraining him to play on the right wing as well. I think he'll be very versatile if we can get him working on both flanks. Now, it's the 8th of August. We have come back on after only a couple of weeks, and that is because one of our backup players, Morales, who has a breakthrough prospect contract, he's playing in our B team. He's had a chat earlier and he's not happy that his agreed playing time has been changed to no longer be a regular player. He was never a regular player. He's a backup, breakthrough prospect. I think he needs to reevaluate things. Two more bits of business then. Morales, after complaining about not being a regular player anymore, we've ended up selling him. So he is left for $2.2 million, which when you go back again, we paid £44,500 for him. He has played for our B team and played 14 games, and we've sold him for 1.7, rising to 2.2 million. Plus a percentage of next sale. I think that's a good bit of business there. It pushes over the 20 million brought in as well. In terms of players in, one more player has come in. Again, came through my scouting, and wow, 400k I've paid for him. And long term, this guy could be an insane right back. So absolutely delighted to pick up him. Honestly think could be insane. Personality wise, temperamental is a bit of an issue, but we will train that out of him. Now, another reason why this is a major mistake is we have gone out in Europe, and if we had had a good quality right winger, would we have gone out in Europe? So we played St. Gallen in the second qualifying round, 2-2 away from home before 1-0 victory at home. Then we got drawn against Derry City from Ireland. We got a 3-0 victory at home before a 3-1 victory away from home. But we came against Galatasaray in the playoff round, 1-1 draw at home, and then we lost 3-1 away from home. So for the first time in a few seasons, we are not in the Champions League group phase. Now, we have gone into the Europa League. Now, maybe, as some people have said, maybe this is our level. Maybe we can actually have a good campaign. I do want to try to aim to finish in them top 24 spots and qualify for a knockout phase after Christmas. So the matches you are going to see reviewed at the end of this episode: Midtjylland, SJK, Slava Prague, Rennes, Basel and Lech Poznan. And then after the winter break in the next episode will be Austria Wien, Brescia, then hopefully some knockout games after that. So we'll talk about this stuff in a minute. Now, not getting to the group phase did cost us financially. We still are in profit. The sales we've been making have helped us. We have 58 million in the bank. I've just been trying the last few years to make profit because we got to the point where did go a couple of seasons where we were losing money. You can see here our expenses. We were shipping our money, and it was getting a bit of an issue. So I did want to try to make profit for the last couple of years, and we have been starting to do that. So yes, we have a lot of money in the bank, but that does mean we just go and splash it. Long term, I would like a bigger stadium, which is something we need to look at. A brand new all-seater. The one we have now was built in 29, so that's 2054 is when we can expand or build a new stadium. So that's my aim. Maybe we'll spend big over the next couple of years on some players, but I don't want to promise anything. So we're 22 games into the season and we've just won the title. 120, drew 2. We are now 15 points clear, and you can see we can get to have played a game more, which means they can't physically catch us. So absolutely delighted with that. 22 games in, unbeaten. We didn't lose a game last year as well, so we are on course to go 2 seasons unbeaten. We are into the cup final as well, and we're going to be coming up against our B team in the cup final, so one of us is winning it. Now, intake is here, and I am very, very pleased. So Martin Johansson comes through, and he looks a talent. 15 years old, and wow. I honestly think he could develop into a very, very good player. So really pleased with him. Another one to point out, is another striker, Christensen. Looks a good talent as well. Got a couple who are like 1.5 star current. You got Olsen, who's a central defender, who again, he looks really, really solid. Unambitious personality again, which seems to be an issue with intake people, but I don't think it's a bad intake, to be honest with you. I really don't. A little funny note to point out here. Kilberg. I believe that the player is unhappy at your failure to utilise youth players on the right wing and is now considering his future at the club. Like, out of everything you could be annoyed about, me not using youth players on the right wing is an issue. Okay, let's have a look at our right wingers, shall we? So first off, our probably 4th choice is Ali Haddad. He's a 20-year-old Jordan international, plays on the right wing. So there's 1. We have a 20-year-old Norwegian striker who can play on the right wing. There's 2. And we have this young Norwegian who we've been retraining and play on the right wing. There's 3. And we have Ken Wolf. There's 4. And you have Sundström. There's 5. We have Ingeberg, who we're going to look at in a second. 6. 4 of them are under the age of 20. And yet somehow you are still upset that we are not utilising young players. Don't react. Don't react. Now, we did have a little bit more business near the end of the window. So Holgarg went on loan to Denmark to get some football. Still not developed how I'd hope, but clubs are still coming in for him. They still want him. Lamin Niang has gone to Copenhagen for 1 million plus 50% of next sale. So we paid 775k. He never settled, never broke into our team. Well, we ended up selling him for profit plus 50% of next sale. Pablo Perez has gone on loan for 1.5 seasons to Vester. He's going to be guaranteed football, playing in our division, and yeah, just get some experience for the young Swedish goalkeeper. Going on loan to KI is the young right back we picked up. I think it's great that he's going to get football for them. Played in Europe as well for the short time they were in it. And then another youngster gone on loan, B36. In terms of who we picked up then, Inderberg we picked up for 1.8 million. Another Norwegian, there's a lot of them come through the minute. Very hard to pick up some good quality Danish players at the minute, but Norway's where it's at. 18 years old, 1.8 million. Again, a striker who can play on the wings. I think he's a very good looking player. So at the end of the season domestically, we did have a new attendance record of 14,513 average for games in the league this year, which is really, really pleased. Diarra set new average rating from his 15 games at 8.41. Obviously a bit upsetting that I probably shouldn't have sold him. 6.25 million selling him. 50% next fee is valued at 23 million now, but I think we sold a player who's actually developing into a world-class player. Midskogen claims the Faroe Islands Premier League Player of the Year, so really pleased for him. Diarra scooped the Rookie of the Year, yep. Goal of the season was from KI. It's one of our players, though, on loan at them. So, very nice to see that. We won Head Coach of the Year again. Players who got in the Team of the Year, our goalkeeper Mortensen, Meng, Sturla, Midskogen and Little Skara. And award winners then, goalkeeper of the year was our goalkeeper Mortensen, now our backup keeper. Michael Meng got defender of the year, Mishan midfielder of the year, and Little Skara got striker of the year. We did go on to win the cup, beating our B team 4-0 in the final with goals from Midskogen picking up 2, Little Skara and Rasmus Smith on the score sheet as well. Quick thing to point out is Rasmus Smith now has become a Faroe Islands player. He finally got the paperwork. Even though it says 2 years, it ends up taking about 5 before the paperwork comes through for Danish players, I've noticed. But he got the paperwork, he agreed to start playing for the Faroe Islands, and he's now has 3 caps, so we needed more depth in that defensive mid, and he definitely offers that. We did go unbeaten in the league with 105 goal difference, 75 points, 124, drew 3, which we scored 114, we conceded 9. So that's 2 seasons in a row, 2 seasons in a row unbeaten. 100 goals last year, 114 this year. So we have scored 14 goals more, conceded 3 more. But we've dominated, and it's really nice that we've gone 2 seasons undefeated. We've won the Super Cup and the Cup as well both years, so we've not lost domestically now for about 2.5 seasons, which is absolutely insane. Now, in terms of average attendances, they're still not the best. KI is at 2,000, Vesta up at 1,500, which is a huge leap for them. Vikingur 1,3, 1,2 for HB, and B36 at 1,2 as well. I'm just curious in the second tier, 500, 300, 290, 218 for our B team. Okay, bit upsetting. I kind of hoped it would be a lot more, but it's just not there, is it? It's just not there. It's just not there. Now, a nice bit of news to point out is that we are now joint with Benfica, and we have, 76 players playing in the top flight of European football. So if we scroll down, you go past all the Benfica players, and then you can see we have a lot of ours, AB. Then you have the ones who are mixed in. So you have the likes of Admasek, who is development clubs of Dortmund and AB. So he was with us 2024, and because he was with us then, he falls under our list as well. I don't remember having him. He falls under our list. There's just so many people who are linked to our club as one of the clubs who has developed them. It's just mad how many we've got. But 76 players now playing in top flight clubs across the continent. 3 players in the Norwegian Dream Team of the Year. We have Linnerud right back in there now, Sterling centre mid, and Little Scar up top. So again, just insane to see our players getting recognised. Nice to see one of our players praising us for the unbeaten season. The overall best 11 then, Mortensen's in there in goal. Our new returning first choice keepers on the bench. You have Nielsen at right back, McHugh is in there alongside Gutsen and Hansen at left back. Engard in defensive mid, who is now retired alongside Kilberg. Where's McHugh now? I just hoped he might have stayed as a coach somewhere. You got head of youth development here for Nielsen, but not a good one. Samuelson on the left wing, who also retired after a lot of years. Mishan in Takmir, Midskogen, and Fredriksson's in there up top. On the bench, you have Nain Talent, you have Murksek, who I think should be in to be honest. Macedo Bredal, he's not moved on to anything. Kuki, he's retired now. Just retired this season. Mauricio. You can see how many times he was back with us. 24-26, and back on loan 26. Back with us in 28. Back with us in 34. In 36 again as well. And then didn't come back after that. So he was just in and out. He's just a legend of the series, isn't he? And then Little Skara on the bench up top at the minute. You have these nice little best 11s, or where are they now? We'll look at the supporters profile now instead of the start of the next video. So we have 697k followers now on social media. It's gone up by 16.8k. No change at all in this supporters profile, which I guess is nice because we've been losing core people and stuff recently. So nice to see it not going down. So looking at how the Europa League has gone then so far, absolutely delighted with this. So we started away from home against Midtjylland and got a 3-0 victory there. Midtskogen on the score sheet and Little Scout with 3-0 up after the 31st minute domination. Before we played SJK at home and got a 4-0 victory. Sturla on the score sheet in 6th minute, Little Scout with 2 again, and Midtskogen again on the score sheet. We then travelled to the Czech Republic to play Slavia Prague and got 2-0 victory, still on the score sheet in Mishan. Before back-to-back home games where it was disappointing. Midtskogen scored early against Rennes and we held on till the 94th minute when they scored an equaliser. And again against Basel, 41st minute goal for Little Skara, 82nd minute equaliser for them then. So disappointing that back-to-back home games we couldn't get over the line and get the victory. Lech Poznan we then played to end this review and got a 4-0 victory. Midtskogen, Little Scout with 2 again, and Horgan on the score sheet, the young Norwegian winger. So that shows us at the minute we are in 6th place, unbeaten so far in the Europa League. And yeah, we are on course, it looks like, to finish maybe in the top 8, definitely in the top 20, I would say, which does guarantee us knockout football as well to review in the next episode. Now, talking about qualification stuff, someone pointed out that Liechtenstein was high as 11th recently. And you can see they had, in 2036-37, they had a 12-point season. They actually on here for a 8.5 season again. So again, they're absolutely flying. We only have a 4.125 so far this season. So we are actually struggling. That's interesting. Because at the minute, with how it's going for us, we are definitely going to be dropping down because Switzerland are having an insane season. And at the minute, we are behind Poland as well. So we're going to be dropping down 2 places. So we do need to pick up more points and definitely qualify for the knockouts. But back on Liechtenstein, 2036-37. So their only club is Vaduz, who play in Switzerland. They qualify every single year due to being the only team from Liechtenstein. So let's go on to the schedule. This season, for example, how are they doing? They are in the Europa Conference League, okay? Now, they are doing good. It's not that good. Like, 1, 2, 3. They've only won 4 games. We've won 4, and we've drew 2. They've drew 2, okay? But we've done it in the Europa League. They've done it in the Conference League. Yet, I can't click on the... This is bugged, so sometimes you can't click on it. So you have to go to world, isn't it? It's Europe coefficient. But yet they have an 8.5 season and we have a 4.125 season. But they only have 1 team. We've had other teams who, yes, they didn't get far, but they've still done stuff. And we'll go to 2036-37 season. So make sure we're... Yeah, they only played in these 2 competitions. So you had the league path here. They got through into the Europa League group phase where they won 4 games and drew 1. Oh no, they got through into the knockout round. The knockout round first leg. So they only got through 1 round in the Europa League. I don't understand how they got 12 points for that. Yeah, we have won 4 games in the Europa League. And we are on 4.125 points. They're on 8.5 points for pretty much the exact same thing this season. It doesn't make sense how they are racking up. And like, for example, here, the Dutch side, so on 7.83 points this season. And they've probably got about 4 or 5 teams participating in Europe this year. Yeah, they're in the Champions League, and they've won 1, 2, they've drew. Where are they at, for example, now? They're 14th after 6 games, yet they've got less points than Vaduz, who are in the Conference League. Feel free to comment below what the hell is going on in this situation. I don't understand what's going on. And we talked about other teams who took part in Europe. TB win it this year. They went out in the first round of, second qualifying round, first round for them. Went out to PAOK from Greece, not Panathinaikos, offensive, I apologise. So they went out early. You have Vikingur Goethe. They went out in the second round they took part in, third qualifying round to Villarreal. Knocked out Crusaders in the round before that. And you have KI also took part. Big word on took part. Went out in the Europa League second qualifying round to Czech side Slovan Liberec. Before coming up against Parma in the Conference League qualifying, going out as well. So, a bit frustrating that nobody again is made into the group phase. But we've just got to keep pushing on. Like I said, I'm giving it some years. We've seen if we can be successful with AB. I've made some major mistakes with some of our sales and players this year. Letting Diarra go for 6.25, I think, will come back and bite us in the backside. But we've just got to learn from it and keep pushing on. So top goal scorer this season with 37 starts with Lethal Scar with 38 goals. Midskogen got 26 goals this season in 31 starts. 14 for Mishan in 30 starts. In terms of assists, Mishan picked up 17. So I think by a long way it's his most successful season in the league. 10 goals, 11 assists in 19 games. So it is fantastic to see that Mishan at the age of 24 has really stepped up this year. Midskogen, now 25 years old, obviously been with us for 6 seasons now, has had his most prolific goal scoring season, 18 goals in 19 league games, 5 assists, still his third best since he's been with us, but that does need to improve. I really do hope so anyway, because it's not the greatest we can say. But the team has a lot of depth. And we do have wingers like Wolf. We have this Horgan who we've been training. Midskogen plays on left wing. We've got wingers, but we've just not looked as good from the right wing, to be honest with you. So I have got a couple of bids in on players. I'm not going to reveal them in this episode. If they come in the next episode, we'll look at them. I do want to, going into next season, have a look at other teams in our league. So make sure you are aware that in the next episode there will be a bit of a dive into some of the other teams just to see their transfer business over the winter and see how they are looking to improve the teams. Our B team did regain the title again. Unbeaten season for them. 125, drew 2. Our youth team as well has an unbeaten season. 124, drew 3. So across all of our teams, we've not lost a single game domestically this season. Looking at our under-18s, they have took part in Europe as well. So in the first qualifying round, they came up against Anderlecht, beat them 5-1 at home before a 1-0 defeat away, but obviously got us through to the next round. And we've just played Apoel, and we got a 3-1 victory at home before a 4-2 victory away from home, saw us cruise through into the next round. So the youth team is really pushing on and looking very, very solid. Again, going into next season, we will be having a look at the under-18s and our B team just to discuss who's looking good, who's going to move up, who's going to move down, etc. and how the team is looking going into the 40-41 season time. So looking at the national team for this season, I would say it's been an absolute disappointment. When you go back to the season before and the season before that, 2038 we won every single match. And we've just had a shocking season. So we started losing to Denmark 3-1 at home in the playoffs for the European Championships. Still don't know how we qualify for it. We then played Malta and got 1-0 victory. 0-0 against Kosovo before losing to Greece, Belarus, Greece again, Kosovo again and Belarus again. So we've ended up finishing bottom of the Nations League group. We are due to play in 2041 in a playoff match. I thought the match was agreed. It is agreed. It's in 2 years' time because that makes sense. So we play Moldova home and away in 2042 to see who gets relegated. I bloody hope we step up because we looking better team-wise. So when we go through our team, Mortensen in goal, quality goalkeeper. Hopefully we do hold on to him as our backup. Jonsson at right back. He's now 29, but he's playing at Roma. He's a top quality player. Gutterson and Christensen at the back. Christensen stepped in the last couple of years and just been a very, very solid player. Then the left back you have Henry Hansen, who's come back to us. Only 25, 60 appearances. Him on the left, Jonsson on the right is a very solid team. And then you have Smith now playing in the half-back role in defensive mid. Is just a step above what we had. Lange in centre mid, who's a decent central midfielder. Then you have Kilberg in attacking mid, who, well, it's Kilberg, it's just quality. Does want to leave now, transfer listed, but he's been with us since 2029, so... You have Witherig on the right wing, still only 26. He's gone to Rebro in Sweden now. On the left at the minute I'm playing Christensen, but we do have our eyes open looking for a new left winger. And up front the last 3 games, I've played our young player who we gave a contract to. We don't have a goal scoring machine for the national team. So I've kind of put a lot of hope that he could potentially do that. And next season he probably will be our backup or third choice striker at the club. So I'm hoping, training with the players we have, he's going to develop, he's going to get better, and hopefully he can be the future striking star of the national team. But we do need to find a left winger, someone who can come in and do a good job. Then I think we're getting a decent side going in 2041. There's been a couple of additions, changes as I tinkered around go near the end of this year, but we're getting there. In terms of our ranking, we have gone to 136. You can see here we rose to 129 during this season. You can see here this was to October. I think this was like the middle of the year. We rose to around 129. So we are improving step by step. It's just taking a bloody long time. It would be quicker if some of the Danish players I signed 5 or 6 years ago actually got the paperwork done. So if we can encourage the officers to fix the paperwork, we'd actually have an absolute stellar team due to some of the Danish players I've had in the AB side for 4 or 5 years now. But we're getting there. It's been a good 2040. We've got Austria Wien and Brescia coming up in pre-season. If we can get good results there, we might go straight into the last 16, I think it is, of the Europa League. I don't understand the coefficients points because with the games we've done, we should have the same amount of points that Liechtenstein have got this year. Yet somehow they pretty much double what we had. So I don't quite understand what's going on there, but hopefully you guys understand. You can let me know in the comments. But that's it for the 2040 review. Hopefully you are enjoying this series. In the next episode, I'm not sure how we're going to do the 2041 season, because the next episode might be quite a long one as we review quite a lot of the teams in the league, as well as having a look at our youth team and stuff going into this new season. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman, and I'll see you next time.